We begin with breaking news on the coronavirus outbreak. The number of cases in New York has grown.
Governor Cuomo announced 4 members of one family have tested positive for the virus. So far in the U.S., 9 people have died, and there are now 127 confirmed cases. CBS 2's Jenna DeAngelis joins us live here in studio with more on this outbreak. Jenna?
Chris, Mary, will begin with a New Rochelle man testing positive for the coronavirus resulted in officials testing his family. We now know his wife, son, daughter, and neighbor also tested positive. The only difference, they're quarantined at home and he remains hospitalized in severe condition. This week, the number of confirmed coronavirus cases in New York jumped from 1 to 6. But Governor Cuomo believes this is only the beginning.
There are going to be many people who test positive. By definition, the more you test, the more people you will find who test positive.
After a 50-year-old attorney tested positive this week, his New Rochelle family was quarantined. Wife, son, daughter, and neighbor who drove the man to the hospital all tested positive. His 20-year-old son attends Yeshiva University, which announced it's closing its Washington Heights campus today. SAR Academy in Riverdale voluntarily closed yesterday. That's where his 14-year-old daughter goes to school. Only the father is hospitalized at New York Presbyterian Columbia in the ICU.
He has an underlying respiratory illness, right? So when we talk about the vulnerable population here, senior citizens, immune compromised, or an existing underlying illness, especially an underlying respiratory illness, because this is a respiratory disease, this gentleman fits in that category.
These cases believed to be community spread, which is different from the first case involving a healthcare worker who tested positive after returning from Iran with her husband. Both were quarantined in their Manhattan apartment, and the husband's test just came back negative. The impacted family synagogue, Young Israel of New Rochelle, has been ordered to halt services, and hundreds of people who attended services there on February 22nd and 23rd have been told to self-quarantine through Sunday. Officials are also monitoring those who work at the Midtown law firm where he practices. Governor Cuomo is headed to Westchester to meet with officials there to discuss next steps. He also announced as a precaution, SUNY and CUNY study abroad programs in 5 countries have been suspended. About 300 students will return and be quarantined. Chris, Mary.
All right, Jenna, thank you.